Greetings and welcome to another Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team video, where this time I'm going through the reveal of the Hivestorm box set, covering two of the new factions, the core rule changes, as well as everything else that was revealed during the stream. But before we get into things, please remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. Let me know what you thought about the reveal today. Well, reveal on Saturday. Are you as hyped about Kill Team as I am? What do you think of the changes with the new edition and everything that's been revealed? And remember, I've got a Discord you can check out in the episode description below, and a affiliate link at Element Games, and a Patreon if you want to give me some more support. But let's get on with this amazing video. So yeah, if you weren't aware, on Saturday, the 17th of August, Games Workshop fully revealed Kill Team Hivestorm, which is the third edition of Kill Team, and also the start of the new box set. So very, very hyped. We got a brand new CGI trailer, which I've already gone over, but this time I'm going to go over what was revealed in the boxes, breaking down the changes, the new factions, and everything that was showed off during the stream and explained in a more thorough way, as well as all the leaked images and glimpses we got, as well as my thoughts and feelings, because, you know, I am hyped for most of it, but there's some worrying things in there, worrying things. But let's get on with it. Kill Team Hivestorm was fully revealed, and inside the box, this probably is bigger than what we even got in Octarius, which was a lot. So we get a brand new, fully huge kill zone, really, really dense, which surprised me. We've got the Vespid Stingwing kill team, the Tempestus Aquilons kill team. We also get a new core book, new tokens, a new upgrade sprue in terms of for barricades and other things. And then they've also announced all the rules being free. There's a lot to go over. So I'll start with the Tempestus Aquilons. So you get 11 miniatures, you get 10 Tempestus Aquilons, as well as their little sentry gun with a heart of gold. Right, it's just that little thing. So these guys are basically 8 wounds, 4 up save. They're probably going to hit on 4s. If you believe they hit on 3s, I'm so sorry. It's not going to happen. But they're basically drum troops. They're Tempestus signs with grav shoots, so they jump in. And they effectively mirror how they work in the trailer from what Elliot described in the stream. So I'll quickly go over the operatives. So you've got the leader who has a hotshot las and a power weapon. Pretty good. You've got the gunfighter. So this operative has 2 las pistols. So all their las weaponry is hotshot lases. So they will be 3-4 damage. And effectively, apparently, this one can shoot in engagement range, like a lot of pistoliers can do, and can shoot twice. It probably has balanced and something like that. So a decent shooter there, but it is just 3-4 damage, right? It's just going to be a bolt gun's worth of damage, but probably with a way to get P1. So not too underwhelming there. Then you've got a gunner who I believe can either have a melter gun or a plasma gun. It wouldn't surprise me if they also get a grenade launcher like most Imperial kill teams do. And then you've got the marksman with a sniper. So the interesting thing, the entire kill team has basically hotshot las carbines. So they're more compact version of hotshot las guns. So they're probably going to be the same, but it's interesting how this sniper is going to work. It's probably still going to be 3-3 silent with like 3 mortal wounds on a crit. That's pretty cool there. Then we have the precursor. So I'll get into the faction ability a bit, but this operative can basically drop into control range, because engagement range is now control range. And basically with its dagger, it can force through 2 strikes at once. And then if it kills someone, it can dash off. So you've got a way to like jump in, stab, move away. Pretty good. But the thing is, if it's a dagger and not actually a proper power knife or knife, it could just be 3-4 damage or maybe even 3-5. But we are in the age of scout knives, so it could be 4-6 damage. Anything can happen with knives, it seems. Then you've got the grenadier. It has all the grenades in the world, but also a melter gun. Not a melter gun, a melter bomb, sorry. So it can also drop down into the sky, from the sky, and throw a melter bomb in someone's face, which I'm sure is completely balanced. Absolutely fine. And then you also get troopers. So the interesting thing with this kill team, they've also shown off 4 troopers. So you get these 2 and the other 2, which means we might only get 6 specialists outside of this kill team, which kind of mirrors a lot of the kill teams we've gained for season 3. So I'm kind of hoping we get a bit more specialists. Otherwise, the kill team may feel a little bland compared to prior kill teams. Oh, and also you get the servo sentry. It comes with a hotshot las volley. So that is like 5 attacks, currently hitting on 4s, 3-4 fusillade, heavy. And then it can either have a flamer, not a heavy flamer, and then a grenade launcher. So you've got different options there. It can also shoot twice, as per Elliot. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's 2 APL, hits on 4s or 5s, and it moves 4 inches and can shoot twice. So pretty simple there. But I'll quickly get into the rules that Elliot mentioned about this kill team. So the main thing about this kill team is its grav shoots. So this is me guessing this part. So I think the grav shoots are going to work exactly how they do for the Reavers, Phobos Strike Team Reavers. So their grav shoots work where if you start on a place higher than where you end your movement, you get fly as you move because it's representing you jumping down and flying. So I expect it to work in that way. So let's say you start on a vantage point. If you move off a vantage point, I would expect it to have fly, because even in the trailer you see how that's how they move. They move, they jump, and then they fly down. So I'm expecting fly changing as well, by the way. I would expect for fly, like in 40k, you play for your vertical and diagonal movement, but you also ignore operatives and like light traversable terrain in the way. So it just represents, if you like going onto a vantage point, you pay like your diagonal distances are just moving infinitely up or down. But that would add some nice mobility. But the main thing, the main way this kill team works is, as Elliot described, you place a third of your kill team on the board and the other 2/3 set up in space. They've played a lot of Dawn of War 2, Retribution, Dawn of War Soulstorm, and they are a great fan of Boreal's Steel Rain maneuver, right? They love that. But effectively how that works is you set up a number of markers, and every time you activate an operative in the air, you either decide to drop them or hold off. And the thing is, I think from the way Elliot described it, so if you deploy a third of your kill team on the board, so you put like 3 on the board, and then you would have 7 or 8 operatives in space, you get a number of tokens that slowly disappear. So I think you'd probably be able to put like 10 or 12 tokens down. So a lot of them are duds, but you remove some every like turning point. So the issue is you can set up multiple ones, but your opponent kind of get punished if they push forward too early. So I expect you can't place these tokens in your opponent's drop zone. I pray you can't do that. And the interesting thing Elliot said is they cannot drop from space into engagement range. Well, sorry, control range, unless it's the person with a dagger. So that operative can deep strike into combat, stab someone, and then like disappear away. Hopefully that's balanced, as well as the Melter Bomber, who just, I hope it has blast, right? So as like some way, he did make it sound like you could prime it, throw it to someone, and then run away. But I expect he was just like, you just drop it, throw it, and then try and live. So you also can do it with the Melter Gun. My worry from this kill team, it sounds very strong. I'm not going to use provocative language because people get quite upset when I do that. And I'm going to try and be optimistic. I'm sure it will be fine. I'm sure it'll be completely okay that you can keep 2/3 of your kill team in space and keep holding off, because that's fine. There's nothing that could go wrong with that. But it does sound really fun and thematic, and that's the important thing. It will be balanced. But it does sound really cool, all right? I think hopefully it's more balanced than it sounds, because the interesting thing, maybe they're going to add a condition where if you like wipe out them before they bring anyone on, they kind of get screwed over, right? They just die. It's like, oh, I've killed all 4. They're like, oh, everyone's gone. But hopefully there's sensible restrictions. Like, as you said, you can't drop into combat range or something, right? The team does look like, to make up for this, they don't have a comms. But the ploys basically sound like they drop down, they kill stuff. They have ploys representing when they drop down. So I wouldn't be surprised when they come down from reserve, they maybe get like balanced or some buff to their shooting, because they just appear from the sky. But they sound very fun. They're probably going to be 8 wounds, 4 up save, hitting on 4s. You've got the very reliable turret that can also just deep strike in and just double shoot someone. But I'm really hoping you can't just jump into within 2 inches of someone and just shoot someone. Like, hopefully there is some more restraint in that mechanic, because the way it was described sounds quite oppressive. Then in the Hivestorm box, you also get 11 Vespids. So this is the Vespid Stingwing kill team. And once again, let's go through the miniatures. I will describe some of the rules as broken down by Elliot. So the Sky Blast has this actual kind of like rad gun. It's a rad grenade launcher. So it's basically a blast weapon, but after it's fired, it leaves a template that basically leaks radiation. So it probably does mortal wounds, and it stays there for the rest of the game. And the way Elliot described it, the more it shoots, the more templates you place. Because unfortunately, well, you know the Tau, they're really civilized. They're all for the greater good. So they've given these Vespids nuclear weapons, effectively. They're just poisoning the environment for the greater good. So you can just, if you got 4 turning points worth of shots, you would leave 4 blast markers that slowly just release mortal wounds worth of damage, is what I'm assuming, which is really cool, right? Sounds pretty fun there. Then you've got the strain leader, who has a translator helm, which translates. So it's just your leader. I wouldn't be surprised if it works like the scout squad leader, so it can give a free APL, or I'll touch on the faction's ability in a minute, but probably tied into that. Then you've got a long sting who just has a rail rifle. So this might be like the marksman rail rifle from the Pathfinders, or although I just like the funny thing is just they just gave it a big gun. You're the best one. Then you've got the Swarm Guard. So this actually just has a flamer. I'll touch upon the core rule changes, but the interesting thing about flamers, I hope they do what I suggested in my original wish list for the new edition 18 months ago, was where flamers are indirect, no cover with splash. But the cool thing about this Swarm Guard, it has an ability where it can move in a straight line and then leave a streak of, like you make a wall of fire. So it's probably like everyone you move over in a straight line, every operative you move over is like hit by fire. So you can, that's the way it was described by Elliot. So that actually sounds really cool, because you can either have weakened operatives you can suddenly just blaze through, especially if you have like a boost movement like the Halfkin Salvager Jump Pack Warrior, but sounds very threatening there. Great for either chipping stuff or finishing stuff off, which combos with your blast toxin launcher. Really, really cool synergy there. Then you've got your Shade Strain. So this is just a stealth Vespid. So apparently if you're more than 6 inches from it, you just can't target it. It's just got stealth technology, which is massive wings. And then it also has a grenade it can throw. It also looks like it has a different gun. It doesn't look like, oh no, sorry, it's just the angle. It does still have the same Neuroblaster that the Vespids have, but it also has a fancy grenade. So there's some interesting, like you can probably sit this one far back on engage, ready to pounce, but there's some nice synergy there. And then once again, you get 4 more warriors. So similar to the Scions, it sounds like you don't get many specialists, which, you know, I was speaking to some friends and they were like, oh, they actually like there being less specialists. It means there's, you know, less to learn. It makes the kill team more simpler to play and understand. But I don't mind having too many specialists, but it's just an interesting trend I've noticed. And you also get an oversight drone, which I don't know why it sounds funny to me. It just sounds like, I don't know. I like little drone, big ears. It's like the Dumbo of drones. It's cute. It's fine. I don't know. It's the name. It's like, I just find it like judging the kill team. It's like, I told you about that. I would have seen that myself. So then the other thing with this kill team is their movement and neuroblasters. So I expect they're all going to be 8 wounds with a 5-up save hitting on 4s. Elliot described them as glass cannons. And the interesting thing about their neuroblasters, as I said, on the tabletop, they're like strength 5, AP 2 or 3 damage 2. But they wanted to represent, apparently, when Vespids move, the vibration from their wings energizes their crystals. So the guns aren't going to be too great if you stand still. But if you shoot in an action which you moved, they apparently get buffed. So I wouldn't be surprised if you stand still, they're like 3/3, you know, 3 damage. And then if you move, they go to like 4/4 AP 1. Something like that, still hitting on 4s, but you get that nice element where it encourages you to engage with this kill team, and as long as you're always moving. I hope there's some kind of minimum movement in like from where you started. Otherwise you can go like, I moved an inch, I've energized my blasters. So hopefully there's something like you make a full move. But the other interesting thing is the way Elliot described this kill team is they're basically insects. So their instinctive behavior, if you'd like to say, if you're a Tyrannid player, is to just attack the closest thing. But the kill team has something called communion points, and Elliot wasn't specific with how many you get, but basically if you don't use a communion point when you activate an operative, your Vespid has to attack the closest visible operative, and it also can't do mission actions. So mission actions are staying. So you're trying to control this swarm, but still trying to like represent its animal instincts. But you may be in situations where like you just want to charge onto the point, so you don't need to use your communion points. I expect the leader to give like D3 or something, and the oversight drone to help with controlling operatives. Like maybe it gives a free communion point when someone activates within red, something like that. So that seems really cool. He stressed their mobility, so he was very clear to reiterate this team has fly. Everyone does have fly. So I expect them to be able to dart across the board. I wouldn't be surprised if they have the ability to all boost, so they can just like move 12 inches in a straight line, something like that. So they sound like super glass cannons, but they do sound fun. They sound, in my opinion, they do sound more challenging and more fun than the Scions. But also they're just bugs, right? It's great. They're just bugs. I'm going to paint mine green, right? Apparently wasps are red and black, but I'm going to paint mine green. But the Vespids look really cool. I really like that kill team. I mean, the Scions from the competitive side of me go like, okay, yeah, the Scions is just going to be, yeah. But the Vespids, they're really cool. I can't wait to play both teams. They look great. So taking a break from the kill teams, we also got some mentions of changes for the core rules. So basically this is edition based like 2.5 instead of the 3rd edition. And it looks like we've got some refinements. Part of my wish listing was exactly this. I hope obscurity, like that's the main barrier for entry, that gets re-rationalized. As I said, when I did my wish listing video, I would hope that if you're engaged, like obscurity works the same way if you're concealed, but if you have an engage order, you can be shot at -1 dice because you're peeking out to shoot. It doesn't mean you can't be shot. You're just harder to hit, right? But if you wanted to not be shot while obscured, stay concealed. You're completely fine. It gives an edge to silent weapons, but I think that's a fair trade-off. And it mirrors how Into the Dark works with shooting operatives, with summon operatives in the way. And then it's just a nice mechanic instead of just going like, yeah, I'm more than 2 inches from this terrain feature, but I ignore obscurity or I have this angle on you, so I can just shoot and kill you. Obviously, we're still waiting for stuff to tidy up like visibility and line of sight. I kind of hope what they do is similar to Necromunda, where you basically have to see the base, the whole base. That would be great, and you don't need really cover lines too much. You just need to be within an inch of cover with your base. That would be so cool, right? As I said, engagement range seems to have changed to control range, which makes more sense if you think about it, because then you can it synergizes more with like controlling objectives, I guess. So that's an interesting thing. They did hint there's more synergistic changes, but also we've got new ways to play. So you've got competitive, basically, which is still the same way. Then you've got solo and duo play, which is basically you versus pre-generated scenarios. So as they said, like you can represent shooting a horde of Tyranids, like fighting a horde of Tyranids, or like a horde of orcs. It's more a way to play narratively, but also for a way to introduce people to the game, because you basically play against procedurally generated enemies. So you can go like, instead of playing against someone in a normal intro game, you can go like, okay, we're playing this scenario. I'm going to use these 4 operatives. You get these really cool operatives, and we're going to try and survive, right? Or we're going to try and steal this, really nice thematic ways to introduce people to Kill Team, which is what we need, right? I would love Kill Team to get more accessible and get more people in. We will still keep that competitive edge. I saw some people get, not upset, but they were like, oh, I don't want the complexity to go away. And I think there's complexity and then just making it easier for people to get into the game, because otherwise, if we don't grow the game, we'll just become into this small, minute game space. We need more people so they can understand how cool and fun Kill Team is without getting lost behind shapes and obscurity and other minutiae, which can just be simplified by the sounds of it. The other thing, shapes are gone. I knew this for a while, but shapes are gone. We got numbers. I'm going to miss blue, red, white. We've got numbers now. I feel hopeful, because my other wish list was, instead of having fixed movement every 6 inches, now you've got numbers. You can have like all Eldari teams could be 7-inch movement, like in 40k. Orcs could all be 5 inches, as well as the Harkin, like all the Halfkin, Harkin, all the Votan, 5-inch move. Normal human Space Marine 6-inch move. And then, for example, if Hand of the Archon still work the same way, now if they take combat drugs for their Hypex, then our movement 8 inches. See, all this granularity just by going back to numbers. It'll be interesting if we keep the normal range of like being within 2 inches to ignore cover. that kind of thing. So that's still left to see, but I expect it would. But it's really nice to see because that just makes it easier for people to get into the game, because some people just got annoyed by shapes and wouldn't play the game. But in my opinion, that was just an excuse for them not to play the game, and they never would anyway. But shapes is good. Now, we also in the box get the new approved ops card pack. So this is the new competitive way to play Kill Team. As you can see, we have brand new token sheets, and interestingly, it's mirrored off earlier designs I saw in the early days of Kill Team by like people on Etsy and other 3D printing designing acrylic tokens, where basically instead of triangles pointing and stuff, the new engage and conceal orders and like other symbols all are like curved cones, so they can basically just touch the base, which is nice. You know, I'm not going to change my acrylic tokens, but these new tokens look really cool. You've got all the equipment ones. I like how the -1 and +1 APLs can sit on the bases as well. Interestingly, we only have 3 objective markers, right, from what we can see, but I'm sure we'll have more. And then you've also got cardstock for 6-inch rules, and then the wedge, which is really nice. So if you don't want to buy like the plastic version, you've got a nice card version. Then we've got the approved op card pack, which is basically just crit ops, right? But this has changed quite a lot. So this is where we go through the sleuthing mode. Thanks to everyone in my local London chat as well as my Discord, because they were able to screen cap so I can decipher it and enhance. So as you can see in the picture, which was hastily screen capped, so the scouting steps looks like it's changed. So you've got equip, ploy, or repossession. So in the scouting step, I'll get onto this in a minute, but we've now got universal equipment, something I was hoping we would get, but universal in addition to your standard equipment. Then you've got ploy. So during the first strategic phase of a turning point, you can use a strategic ploy for 0 CP. Ploy beats reposition, and that reposition, I assume it's something who's wholly within your drop zone. So it's probably they either reposition in their drop zone. So it's a change on fortify, infiltrate, and recon, which I don't know, man. I don't know about this. I was like, don't change what ain't broken. This, you know, I'm sure this is fine. But then we've got something brand new. So we've got this kill op. So you start without a kill grade. As enemy operatives are incapacitated, your kill grade goes up until it reaches 5. Whenever you move to a new kill grade, you score 1 VP. At the end of the 4th turning point, we have 4 turning points still. If your kill grade is higher than your opponent's, score 1 VP. The table below shows how many operatives must be incapacitated to reach each kill grade. The row you use is determined by the starting number of enemy operatives. Basically, if you start with 5 enemy operatives, you need to kill 1 to go up to 1, 2, 3, 4. So it basically scales, right? A scaling grade based on the number of operatives. And what this means is elites are saved, elites are back, elites are good, because you basically just easily score this. So the interesting thing, this isn't a secondary. I think this is a primary. So the interesting thing is it's not confirmed, but we could either have new primaries, we all have new primaries, or you pick what primary you play. And I think that would be very interesting, because then you could just fix kill teams based on how you want to play the primary while still having tac ops. On my secret source rumors, I have heard loot is gone. Loot has disappeared. I think secure is probably still there and probably still capture, but I wouldn't be surprised if those are reworked too. I'm not sure what's happening with tac ops, but I can quite confidently say loot is gone. So some secret source there. But I'm interested by this and worried. What they mentioned during the video is like they've brought back the kill into kill team. So that's kind of what I don't like. Because the interesting thing, I think killing was really well balanced with seek and destroy. The cool thing I liked about kill team was it's all about the objectives. It's objective team, right? It's all about how you score the mission. You can score the mission as long as you play the mission, even if you get wiped out, you've won. But then they go like, oh, we don't like that. So now we focused on killing. And the interest, I know like 40k has a kill mission and Age of Sigmar has a kill mission. But what I liked about Kill Team, that it wasn't all about killing. You could kill, and some teams were great at killing. and you know you're rewarded for killing. But for example, let's say I play scouts and they still select infiltration or recon. Now I can just pick the kill more mission, and I kill really well, but my kill team was balanced around, you know, my secondaries for recon and infiltration. But now I get to kill while doing those, so my weakness is kind of gone. So I think in the first place, the sign of this kill stuff is good, but I feel it might be bad, right? It might be. This is just me being worried because I like the more objective-based nature of Kill Team. I still love killing, of course. I mean, the game, not in general, but, you know, it'll make sense when we see the full edition and we play more. Then the other thing is we now have this new upgrade sprue, like terrain sprue. So if you played Kill Team 21, you would know it's the one with the 6 barricades and the measuring gauges, right? This time we've got new measuring gauges with skulls, more skulls. They have numbers. If you were afraid of shapes, don't worry, the shapes are gone. You are safe. There are numbers. But we've now got a new interesting twist on the terrain sprue. So Elliot mentioned this is all equipment now, and it represents a general universal equipment you can take, which is actually going to be very interesting. So what we get now, instead of 6 barricades, you get 2. You also get 2 singular heavy barricades, I assume, 2 big heavy barricades, 2 sections of barbed wire, 2 sections of very, very weird smoke, 2 minefields, 2 ammo caches, a comms device, grenades. I'm sure one represents crack, frag, smoke, and stun, and then 2 ladders. Expandable ladders. Scalable, guys. So, what this is interesting, I'm kind of worried. I really liked barricades. Barricades were actually one of my favorite things about Kill Team in one of the many videos I should have made earlier, which is haunting me forever. But I could expect, like, maybe it's 2 equipment points, for example, for those little barricades, but it's free for the big one. So if you take 3 big ones, you've got some heavy cover, right? But now it costs you more equipment points. The barbed wire probably just means like it's dangerous terrain. Then you've got the mines. So obviously if you move through, you get mined. That's some nice there. I wouldn't be surprised if the ammo caches, the 2 ammo caches, they give you like ceaseless when you're within like an inch of them. The smoke grenades, they're just smoke. I really don't like the smoke effect. I know sculpting smoke is difficult in 3D, but my gosh, especially the red smoke. It looks like red sludge. I don't know. It doesn't look like smoke. I think it's just probably because we know what smoke looks like as naturally, and it just doesn't look like smoke. It looks like sludge, but whatever, it's fine. And then you've got the grenade equipment, the comms device. Maybe this is going to act as like a universal comms. So if you don't have a comms, you can take that for 3 equipment points and give a command point to someone, which immediately would help teams who don't have comms handle the Archon. So that would be really cool. And then 2 ladders, right? So you can pick up a building to, like, now you can scalable up here, like only 2 inches to climb or something. This is so cool, right? This is just me guessing. I don't know any of this, but I hope it's like that. This is so cool. The only worrying thing now, if all the barricades are tied to your equipment choices, it means you're going to have less equipment. But I like universal equipment. I always thought the problem with universal equipment, you would have it for Imperials, but then how do you do it? Like Eldari is not too hard, but then how would you have like Necron, Orcs, that stuff? But I like the way they've done it. Like it can represent like a Xenos team or Chaos team just finding their own. Chaos can just chaos fight up. Really interesting elements. Like, do you take more of your powerful faction equipment, or do you take like the heavy barricades? Are you in a really badly designed open drop zone? Pick some of the heavy barricades to hide behind. Very, very interesting. I even like the mines, because you can go like, okay, I'm not going to block off your movement, but now I'm going to damage you because you're going to traverse for free. You traverse for free, run through my minefield. You don't have any way to ignore obscuring, eat my smokes, and now I can move up safely. Like, it adds so much depth, and I hope it works that way. If it works even better, that's great. Like, and this comes in the starter set. I don't even know what it does, and I'm so hyped. Ladders! Collapsible, expandable ladders! Anyway, I'm getting too hyped about ladders. And then also you get the core book and the Hivestorm dossier. So the core book will be available in hardback later. Everything that's shown will be on release at the same time. So even if you don't buy the core set, you can buy all that. The cool thing, all the rules are going to be online. Something I've wanted for ages. Hopefully we'll get an app, maybe tie it to the 40k app. So we'll have an up-to-date online resource. Even the new teams, when they're launched, you'll get the rules for free online. Amazing, right? And then if you've got the Hivestorm dossier, it also has narrative missions based on, like, apparently this time it has really themed attacker defender missions, and anyone can be like doing grav insertions. So they mentioned you could have Space Marines acting as like jump troops, like dropping in, you know, with their grav shoots. But basically really thematic ways if you want to play your kill team games representing this. Now, I also forgot to mention, when talking about terrain, it does show the current terrain Hivestorm, but when we were looking through the approved ops map, you do see a brief glimpse of Beta Decima. And our local TO group, they told us they had a call with Games Workshop a few months ago, and Into the Dark and Beta Decima will still be used, and they've probably got pre-printed maps in the upgrade, well, in the approved ops map pack, especially as Into the Dark, basically Gallo Dark, whatever, came back in 40k. So that's going to stick. So, you know, don't throw out your terrain just yet. Maybe throw out Beta Decima. You know, no one needs Beta Decima. But this is cool. I like that everything's online. There's going to be apparently cards for every faction. So, you know, that's pretty cool. Increasing accessibility, making it free. Everything I wanted to get more people into Kill Team. Amazing. Oh, and also I forgot to mention the setting. Let's go through the terrain. Oh my gosh. So the setting is you're fighting underneath the big gun. That's what it is. It's a giant 2-barreled cannon, kind of giving me Dawn of War Winter Assault vibes. If you know, you're a cool person like me and so old. But so this terrain is, I gotta tell you, it's pretty terrific. So in a change to normal buildings, we have 2 enclosed buildings. So 2 buildings with just terrain all the way around. We've got vantage points with looks like heavy terrain, but quite open vantage points. And then we've got 2 vertigus terrain pieces. The interesting thing is the bigger ringed terrain piece has actually a 2nd level. And if you're playing official Kill Team, we've never actually had an official map with a 2nd level of a vantage point. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that works. And you've got all these heavy walls and probably light walls. But interestingly, it looks very dense. Really, really dense. I think this is more terrain than was even in Octarius. It looks really, really cool. The interesting thing is, we don't see the objectives. I've heard rumors 6 objectives are gone. We're going to go down to 5 objectives or even 3 to help elites. But this terrain looks amazing. It's like Octarius, but what I wanted. It looks very favorable to melee teams. So if you think melee teams are over, I don't think so by the looks of that terrain. You've got doors. Like there's doors on both terrain pieces. It looks very, very dense. But for some reason, I think because there's so much terrain, it makes the board look smaller, but it's the still same size board for a kill team. But I'm really hyped about this terrain. I think the cool thing, this is the entire terrain we're going to play for the season. You know, Octarius was great. Some of the season 1 terrains, kill zones were hit or miss. Into the Dark turned out to be really, really good. And Beta Decima was like a bit too sparse. This is what I think of when it comes to a kill team board. And I'm really happy you get all of this in the starter set along with the upgrades. And we've got a new kill zone board. It looks really good. You get 14 pieces of terrain, which makes up kill zone Vulcus. It's really, really cool. Obviously, you've got 2 reused pieces, but for this much terrain, I think that's a pretty big win. So overall, I've gone quite a long time into everything. I've watched through the trailer, I've watched through the live stream, and I've tried to break it down as much as possible. I think I've missed some things, but I've tried to be as thorough as possible. I am really hyped for this Kill Team Hivestorm. The cool thing is the Vespid Kill Team looks like a 1-box Kill Team. Disappointed we didn't get a melee bug. You think we would get a bladed melee bug? Maybe we will. They may not have shown off all the operatives. They don't generally show all the specialists. And then the Scions, they look like they might be a 2-box Kill Team, but they may not. Like the only thing is, I think if you have multiple gunner options, that may be a time where I try and magnetize them, right? But it looks like an amazing starter. I was a bit iffy when I heard the rumors about Scions with jump packs versus Vespids, but the Vespids look stunning. They look really, really fun, and like you can go bug kill, And the Scions, you know, they're grown on me. They sound really fun to play. I would have preferred Elysians. Elysians would have been so cool. But whatever. We've got Jump Scions, Aquilons, and it looks cool. They've refined the game. They've made it easier to get into. They've made it more interesting. Now, there are some changes that I've already mentioned. Like, I'm not really hyped about the change to the scouting phase. And then I'm worried about the game focusing more on killing than, you know, playing the mission and controlling the board, because I like how you can win the mission despite getting wiped out. That represents, you know, like stalling people, making the right decisions just to buy time for you to like blow up this key depot, something like that, you know. But that's just me doom posting. But I'm really hyped about it's everything I wanted for a new edition of Kill Team, although I still need to see the rules, right? As a first glance, deep dive, like picking through screenshots, right? Remember, Beta Decima's still there, so probably got Into the Dark. I'm very hyped. I am very excited. I can't wait. It's so cool. And like, the thing I'm most appreciative is just making it easier for people to get in. Like, when I was looking at stats for other game systems, I was looking at Blood Bowl stats, because I got into Blood Bowl. I have problems. But I looked at Blood Bowl and like their smallest faction gets like 400 games a month. I think we struggle. Like our most popular faction got like 390. And I was just like, look, we need to make Kill Team more accessible. And if they've done it the way they sound like they have in terms of Games Workshop, I hope so. Because it'd be really cool to get more people into it. Like, I really am intrigued by the duo and solo play. That sounds like a great way to get people to play this game, as well as a more involved narrative system. Even though current narrative Kill Team is fine, this sounds more fun. We've got universal equipment, tidied up rules, all online for free for everything. You know, it just sounds so cool. The terrain box, like the terrain, you get so much. You get so much in this core set. It's the perfect, you know, I don't know if you get dice. You probably get dice. You may not get dice, but you pretty much get everything to play. You're probably going to get dice. Don't quote me on that. But I'm just so excited, right? I'm so excited. Inside me is like, well, don't forget those, John. But I'm trying to ignore my negative voice because I'm so happy. It's so cool. I am so happy for Kill Team. I am so happy and I can't wait. Well, I'm sharing it with you all guys, right? I'm going to be here. I'm finally going to get off to get to show off a new edition, right? I'm going to try and do my best to get more people into this game to play, whether competitively or casually. And this just looks great. I can't wait to play it. Gonna paint them up, you know, when I get them. I don't have them. It's just cool. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. I've been rambling. I've said excited like 20 times, maybe. Please let me know what you think. Remember to like and subscribe, comment. Let me know, are you hyped for the new edition like me? What do you think of everything that's been shown off? Have I missed anything? What do you think? Let me know. I'd be really interested to hear. And remember, I've got a Discord you can check out in the episode description below, and a affiliate link Element Games, and a Patreon if you want to give me some more support. And I'll quickly shout out my patrons. So from my adepts as a creator, I have Tom, Supercow, Stephen, Sam, Nick, Mr. Meatwad, Mercenary Q, Lucas, John Thomas, Graham, Dave Meets World, Dada Goldens, Chris Cole, and for my veteran to the creator, I have Sam. Just thank you so much for all your support. It really means a lot to me and helps support the channel. But yeah. New edition is here. I have lots of stuff planned. I am very excited, and hopefully you're going to like what I'm going to come and show you guys, because it's going to be cool. We got Kill Team 24. 24. Oh, yeah. And crits should stay, because crits are the best, and branding. So remember, no matter what happens in the new edition of Kill Team, you always have a chance to win, as long as you can roll a crit.